You have a high-powered job, a big presentation the next morning, and a seemingly innocent setup for a dinner date. What could possibly go wrong? If you're Walter Davis, the answer is everything. We're talking about ruined careers, an ex-boyfriend with a vendetta, and enough slapstick destruction to make even the most seasoned comedy fan sweat. So straighten your tie, pop open the champagne, and try not to crash your car into another store as Laramy Wells and I discuss Blind Date from 1987 on this episode of the 80s Flick Flashback Podcast. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am your host, Tim Williams. As always, I am thrilled to have one of my creative partners back in the studio. Please welcome back the man who definitely knows better than to let a blind date spiral out of control, the one and only Laramy Wells from Moving Panels. How you doing, Laramy?
I am good. You okay, Agnes?
Yeah, Blind Date, Bruce Willis, Kim Basinger, John Larroquette. I can't say it's truly a forgotten 80s movie, but I don't think people talk about this one as much as they probably should. It's a fun one.
And Bruce Willis's first movie.
Very first starring role.
Should be talking about. Yeah.
So, well, let's jump right in. When did you see Blind Date for the very first time?
It was years ago. I couldn't put my exact. I will say I did not see it on television. I went out and actually purchased it.
Okay.
I'm a huge Bruce Willis fan, as I think anyone listening to the show knows.
Yes, well established.
And so I went out. It was on VHS, so give you an idea of how long ago it was that I purchased it. But yeah, got a hold of it on VHS so that I could watch it. So we're probably talking late 90s, if not early 2000s, and probably about the time that I saw it then.
Yeah. This is one that I did see in the theater. I remember seeing this one at the movie theater on base in Fort Meade, Maryland, that had, it played over the weekend. Yeah. It had been, this one did pretty well at the theater. We'll talk, in the box office, we'll talk about it towards the end, but I don't remember having to wait that long to see it though. Like they got it kind of early. So it was packed with people, but I was already a Bruce Willis fan. As we've talked about, I loved Moonlighting. That's where I, kind of discovered Bruce Willis and became a big fan of his through that. So was looking forward to the movie. I will say when I first saw it, I don't think I enjoyed it as much as I did watching it later. But I still had a soft spot for it. So, but how long has it been since you watched it before rewatching it for the podcast?
Again, probably a good while. When I went I knew I owned it, and I've upgraded to a DVD. I knew I owned it. It honestly took me a minute to find it. Even though my collection is alphabetized, I've got another set of movies on a shelf upstairs. And it just happened to be on that shelf.
Okay.
But that shelf isn't alphabetized, so it took me a minute to find it. So that gives you an idea, because I didn't even know where it was in my house.
Yeah, I can't exactly remember the last time I seen it. It's been within the last probably 10 or 15 years, I would say. I have a digital copy that I got from back when it was still Vudu. Now it's Fandango at home, but it was part of usually a lot of the ones that I get from there usually like they have the mix and match where 5 movies for 15 or 3 for 15 or something like that. So it was kind of a bundle deal, but I might have watched it when I got it then because I hadn't seen it in so long. But yeah, it had been a while, but it was still like watching it again today. I remembered there was more of it that I remembered watching it this time than when I watched it the last time. So, but still a fun movie, very enjoyable, and we'll definitely get into it.
But like many Blake Edwards movies, what doesn't hold up? Like
yeah.
And when I say doesn't hold up, like could not be made today.
Oh no, definitely not. So, Yeah. All right, well, now it's time to see if you know the fun facts and trivia about Blind Date before the cameras ever started rolling. Let's head into our trivia segment we like to call Risky Quizness.
Risky Quizness. Risky Quizness.
All right, Laramy, I pulled 5 random bits of information directly from the pre-production and casting files. Your job is simple. Tell me if they're true or if they're false. Are you ready?
Typically not, but let's go ahead.
All right, and of course you can play along at home. So here we go. Number 1, true or false? Before Bruce Willis was cast as Walter Davis, the lead role of Blind Date was originally intended for Sean Penn. True or false?
I could see that. So I'm gonna go true.
Yeah, that is true.
Hey.
The film was originally intended for the recently married Madonna and Sean Penn, but both backed out after the project failed to attract a director. The project moved to established director Blake Edwards, who agreed to direct, contingent on making some script changes. So, because most Blake Edwards movies are movies that he's written, so this is one of the few movies that he made that he did not was not an original idea. So, all right. Number 2, true or false? Director Blake Edwards famously wanted the film to be a dark, serious drama, but the studio forced him to make it a slapstick comedy instead. True or false?
Man, you know what? Knowing Blake Edwards movies, I would have to say that was false. I mean, this is the guy behind the Pink Panther. So
That is absolutely correct. It is
Yeah.
false. He was known specifically for comedies, and Blind Date was always intended to be that way. So, yeah. All right. You're doing good. All right. Number 3, the character of David Bedford, played by John Larroquette, was originally written to be a much smaller role, but was expanded significantly during filming due to his chemistry with the rest of the cast. True or false?
Well, that one I really don't have a clue on. So I'm just gonna take a guess. I'm gonna say you're saying it was meant to be smaller, right?
Yes,
So I'm gonna say true.
that is true.
Okay, good.
His performance was so well received that the writers expanded his scenes during
Yeah.
production, which I could see.
Yeah.
He's like
John
you know,
Larroquette's
chewing up the scenery, like just having the time of
Absolutely.
his life. So,
And I love how
alright.
it's almost like the same line and same delivery every time you see him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
"Are you? I'll kill you."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because he was, well, we'll get into casting, but of course he was at that point well established as the lawyer from Dan
Court.
from Night Court,
Yeah.
which was kind of a little out there as well. I mean, this is a little bit more
A little bit more of a straight
extreme.
man.
Yeah. So, all right. On a roll, here we go. Number 4, Blind Date marked the feature film debut for actor Phil Hartman, who played the character of Ted Davis.
Ooh. Was this the first movie for Phil Hartman? I'm trying to think of what other Phil Hartman things. And is and what year they came out.
Yeah, that's where it gets tricky.
That's where that's gonna get tricky. Oh man. I'm gonna say it was just early enough that I'm gonna say it was, but it might not be.
It's false.
Yeah, I was worried
Yeah.
about that one.
It was an early prominent role for him, but he had
Yeah.
appeared in several films prior, mostly cameo, like smaller roles.
Yeah.
But like 1987, Jumpin' Jack Flash is more
Okay.
was more he was like his first feature film debut. So
And I'm not as familiar with that one. Because I was honestly thinking of like you know, because I was thinking of things like wasn't he in like Pee Wee's Big Adventure?
mhm.
Yeah. So I was
But
like,
once again, very much a
but-
cameo,
Yeah.
in that. So, yeah. All right, well, you've only missed one so far, so you're still in the win column, but let's see if you can round it out with the last question. True or false? The wine tasting scene where the restaurant is destroyed was filmed on a set designed to be easily reset, allowing the crew to perform the chaotic stunt multiple times in one day. True or false?
Ooh, that one's a hard one too because I could see it being false because it was like, hey, we've got to do this in one take. Man, that one's a difficult one to go with too. I'm gonna go with my gut and just say I'm gonna say false. I'm gonna say it had to be done. It's gonna be it's true, but
It's
I'll
true,
say
yeah.
false. Yeah.
Yeah, the production team built a specialized set that could be rapidly cleared and reset to capture the
I believe
escalating
it, yeah.
destruction. And I was like, it's Blake Edwards. He's done these type of movies
Yeah.
multiple times. He's not going to want to take that chance of having to only film it one time. So, yeah.
True.
But hey, you got 3 out of 5. It's still a win. You won the series if we're going by baseball rules. So, but if you played along at home, tell us how you did. You can send us an email, reach out to us on social media, or leave us a comment right here on YouTube. That's where you're watching the episode. So,
Yeah. Still probably
always,
the best I've done on one of those.
hey,
So.
by yourself, yeah. I
Yeah.
think it's, I like having the one-on-ones, but it's always better when it's a team because I love hearing you guys try to help each other out and I think it's this, well, I think it's that, and so.
Yeah, and I actually ever since you started doing those, I try not to look at a lot of
Oh, okay.
trivia because I'm like I don't want to feel like I cheated.
Right.
So
So, all right, well, good deal. Well, let's jump into casting. I told Larry before this, it doesn't have a huge cast, but there are a lot of, as Nicholas has coined the phrase, that guys in this that you like. I've seen that guy before, and there are a few in here, but let's talk with the starting cast. Top billed was not Bruce Willis, even though most people
Nope.
know him as the lead. The top billing goes to Kim Basinger as Nadia Gates. Of course, we've talked about her in our Batman episode from a couple of years ago. But just to give you a quick recap, she gained widespread attention for performance in the James Bond movie Never Say Never Again in 1983. She went on to receive a Golden Globe nomination for her role in The Natural in 1984, which we also covered. And of course, I mentioned Vicky Vale in Tim Burton's Batman in 1989. She had previously been considered for the role of Jenny in Blake Edwards' earlier comedy hit 10 in 1979, which went to Bo Derek. So,
man, that role's so iconic for Bo Derek.
yeah, no, I can't imagine
crazy to
anybody
think
else.
of anyone else. Yeah.
Yeah. And 79, it's like she would have been, I mean, I guess she would, I just think of her like she's already kind of young in this, and this is late 80s. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think. It's hard for me to think of her in the 70s because I only know about her in the 80s. So, not that she was very old in the 80s. So, but yeah, but this was a fun role for her. It was definitely probably the first. Yeah, for me, that probably was the first movie that I saw her in because this was before Batman.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we talked about The Natural. I don't think I was what I'd really seen. I wasn't into Bond that early, so I hadn't seen Never Say Never Again. So this is probably my first introduction to Kim Basinger. So
yeah, I think it would have been Batman for me.
Yeah. And then, of course, Bruce Willis as Walter Davis. We've talked about him, of course.
Yes.
Widely recognized as a Hollywood icon of the action genre. He first achieved fame with a leading role in the comedy drama series Moonlighting, which we talked about, from 1985 to 89. He also appeared in over 100 films, gaining widespread recognition as an action hero for his portrayal of John McClane in the Die Hard franchise, which we have
which was just his third movie. It was just two after this one. He does Die Hard. Like, heck of a way to start a career.
Yeah, this was his first credited film. We did talk about he is in the background of The Verdict, which you and I talked about a couple years ago.
First Deadly Sin, I think is the name of the other movie that it's a Frank Sinatra movie. I think it's called The First Deadly Sin. He just walks past Frank Sinatra in one scene. But yeah.
Yep. So, but it was because this movie did well, it helped him get the part of John McClane. They knew he had the stuff to be in a movie. So what did he make between this one and, I didn't look it up.
Sunset, another Blake Edwards movie.
Yeah, him and James Garner, right?
Yep, where he plays Nix. What was his first name? Man, I cannot think. Yeah,
famous cowboy.
Yeah, famous cowboy actor.
Yeah, I can't think of it either. Tom Nix.
Tom
Okay.
Nix.
I was thinking Tom, but I was like, it doesn't sound right. So yeah. And that one, I actually watched that one a couple of years ago. I hadn't seen it in a long time. And that's another fun movie too. So he's really good in. So
it's fun. It's not as good though. It is. Yeah. He did have that, as many actors have, that sophomore slump of the second movie is not is not that great comparatively to
Mhm.
first movie or even movies that came after. It's like a little bit of a slump. I think the worst slump, just to go off task a little bit, because whenever I talk about this, I always think of Steve Martin
Mm.
because he does the jerk and then he follows it with Pennies from Heaven.
I
And
really
I know
wanted to
that
like
there's,
that movie, but it's
I was about to say,
so
I
hard to
know
get
there's
through.
people that like it. I know there's people that like it. But man, that is a hard movie to watch.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I bought a digital copy as part of a bundle, and I tried to watch it, and I was like, got like 20 minutes in. I was like, this is just not what I want to watch right now. Like,
Yeah,
this is
that is
not
a
what I
hard movie
expected
to
it to
watch.
be. So yeah.
Yeah. And Sunset's fun, but honestly, as a movie, I mean, if we ever talk about it, we'll talk about it more, but yeah, it's just not great. Like,
Mhm.
so I would say it's definitely a forgotten 80s movie.
Yeah, it is. So, I thought this was fun. I'm sure this is something you already know. Of course, his character's name is Walter in this movie. Did you know Walter is his actual first name, Bruce being his
Correct.
middle name? So,
Yep.
Walter Willis. He could have been a comic book character.
Yeah, alliteration.
Yep. All right, and then we got John Larroquette as David Bedford. We talked about him already, being from Night Court from 1984 to 1992, and he reprised his role for the reboot in 2023. He also had his own sitcom, The John Larroquette Show, from 93 to 96. He then moved to other series like The Practice, Boston Legal, and one of my favorites, the TNT series, The Librarians from 2014
Love
to
The
2018.
Librarians.
Yeah, that was a fun show.
Yeah. I also like to remind people that he is the narrator of the
I was
original
just-
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Just about to say that. Yep, that was his film debut,
Yep.
and he followed that. He was in Stripes in 81, Madhouse in 1990, and Richie Rich in 1994. So, but yeah, that we talked about already. I mean, he's a kind of more exaggerated version of his character from Night Court, I think.
Yeah.
But so off the rails in this movie. So off the rails.
Yeah. I mean, right off the bat, he just introduces himself and then immediately attacks Bruce Willis.
Yeah. I'm going to kill you.
Yeah. And again, he delivers that line the same way every time.
Yeah.
Great.
Yep. All right, and then we've got William Daniels as Judge Harold Bedford, known for his television roles, notably on Saint Elsewhere. He was the voice of Kit in Knight Rider, but of course we know him most as Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World.
Feeney.
And of course he's still alive. He made it to see Danielle Fishel in Dancing with the Stars last season, so that was pretty cool.
That's going to be a hard one when he passes.
Yeah. But he's
former
so fun
president
in
of SAG too.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was fun watching him in this. Just a good, he's trying to get order in the court and ends up using his shoe.
Yeah. Keeps having to apologize to the stenographer.
Yeah.
And he hits her in the head, and then he curses. And
yeah. Oh, gosh. All right. This is one of that guys we talk about, Mark Bloom as Denny Gordon, Bruce Willis's friend at the beginning. That's telling about his escapades the night before. He found success with a supporting role in Desperately Seeking Susan in 85, which he followed up the next year with another supporting role in Crocodile Dundee, which is probably what I remember him most from.
Yeah, that is that. Yeah.
So another movie that I have yet to cover on the podcast, and I don't know why, because it's so iconic of the 80s. But yeah, good old Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah, not good, but iconic.
I won't get into it right now. So, and then the one that I love, but I hate to talk about, but of course the late great Phil Hartman as Ted Davis. He joined the California comedy troupe The Groundlings. While in The Groundlings, he worked with Paul Rubens and John Lovitz, who became good friends up until his death. Phil and Paul created the character Pee Wee Herman, which you talked about in our Pee Wee's Big Adventure episode. Of course, he had a record 8 seasons on Saturday Night Live, and his movie career included movies such as House Guest in 95 with Sinbad. He was also in Greedy in 94 with Michael J. Fox, Jingle All the Way in 96 with Schwarzenegger. And he also was in Sergeant Bilko in 96 and Small Soldiers in 98. But once again, he had so many little pop-up cameos in different movies. And I know I'm going to jump in the 90s for a second, just because I was looking for something just goofy to watch. The most 90s movie, Why Is It So I Married an Axe Murderer with Mike Myers. Like the music, the poetry.
Whoa, man.
Yeah.
Whoa,
man. Whoa, man.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The soundtrack.
You know what this apartment needs? A
giant poster of Atlantic City.
Map of Atlantic City.
Well, there it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Mike Myers before he was Austin Powers. But he has a bit role in that as like the Alcatraz tour guide. And so, yeah, it's so funny. He was like, my name is Charles Button, but people love to call me Vicky. Just his straight, like deadpan delivery. It's so good. But yeah, so sorry, took you to the 90s, but if you need a good, just stupid, funny movie that just makes you laugh, So I Married an Axe Murderer is still one of my favorites. So
I even just recently rewatched his little goodbye on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. The one where they have all the characters singing the goodbye, farewell, and then he comes down at the end, and it's him and Chris Farley. And Chris Farley is his Matt Foley character, but he sits down with him, puts his hand, Chris Farley like nestles into him, and it's just such a it's sad but beautiful moment between two of the greatest.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved him on News Radio. That was another great show.
That was a good one.
I loved him on. So, but he's great in this. My favorite scene is when he's on the phone talking to him, and his wife is like, "But she can't get drunk. She'll get wild. Don't get her drunk. She gets wild.
She gets wild.
Yeah.
What
kind of are we talking about?
Control.
Yeah. Oh, definitely one of my laugh out loud moments of the movie. So, but yeah, man, good old Phil Hartman. Gone too soon. All right, moving on. Stephanie Faraci as Susie Davis, which of course is played Ted Davis's wife. She looked familiar, and I cannot place her for the life of me.
She's the mom on Hocus Pocus.
She's the mom on Hocus Pocus, which is not where I knew her from.
That's where I knew her from.
She's John Candy's wife in The Great Outdoors.
That's correct. Yes, I'm not as familiar with The Great Outdoors, but
I love The Great Outdoors. Seen that one a million times.
My wife and daughters are huge Hocus Pocus. So I see that movie every year, so I recognized her as the mom from Hocus Pocus.
Yeah. So she's also been in Sideways in 2004, Flight Plan in 2005, and Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates in 2016. Because that movie needed to be made for some reason.
I forgot that movie. Yeah. That was a movie I've seen.
Yeah, when Zac Efron was trying to just keep making movies. So somebody I recognized, Barry Sobel, as the gas station attendant, only because I was huge into stand-up comedians at the time, which is how he got his start. But he's also was in Doc Hollywood in 91, Revenge of the Nerds 2, Nerds in Paradise in 87, and Larry Crown in 2011. He's actually done a bunch of writing as well, but a very forgotten movie from the 80s called Punchline with Sally Field and Tom Hanks. He's in that movie, but he was actually like Tom Hanks's not muse, but like consultant. Yeah, so like that was Tom Hanks was trying to do his comedy like Barry Sobel was doing his comedy at the time. So definitely I recognized him immediately when he popped up. Like, I know that guy. Then I had no idea this was this guy's name is Brian George as the maitre d' at the restaurant.
Yes.
He was
from just about any like sitcom from the 90s.
Yeah. But he was the United Nations Secretary in Austin Powers. He was Julian Bashir's father in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, but most of us know him as Raj's dad on The Big Bang
Correct.
Theory.
Yes.
So, yeah.
He also it was in a storyline or is in several episodes of Seinfeld.
Yes, as Babu Bhatt.
Yep. Yeah. And I mean, you can just go through his IMDb
Yeah.
and you're just going to see he's in the episodes of this, episodes of that. He's also a big voice actor.
He is, yes.
Because he's done a lot of DC stuff. So I know him. I know him from doing DC
I
stuff.
just had no idea his name was Brian George. I would definitely have missed
you
that
wouldn't
on
think,
trivia.
yeah, you wouldn't think that. He's also the voice of Barbossa in like the video games.
Really?
And,
Okay.
and anything dealing with Pirates of the Caribbean that's like animated.
Oh, okay.
He's the voice of Barbossa.
That makes sense. I could see that. Here's a name I know you definitely know. The bouncer was played by Dick Durock. Am I saying it right?
Yep.
American actor and stuntman who appeared in over 80 films and over 700 TV episodes. Of course, he played the Swamp Thing in both the feature films, Swamp Thing in 82 and The Return of Swamp Thing in 89, and also reprised it in the 1990 to 1993 Swamp Thing TV series. He was 6 foot 6 inches tall, which of course gave him the ability to play a rival Hulk creature in The Incredible Hulk, a 2-part episode. He was also with Clint Eastwood films. He was also with Clint Eastwood in the films The Enforcer in 76 and Any Which Way You Can 1980. And I think we might have talked about this before, but it's been a while. He made a brief appearance in Stand By Me as the county fair pie eating champion.
Oh yeah, I think I do remember talking about that.
Yep.
I forget that. But, No, he's just Swamp Thing to me.
Big guy. So, a little bit of trivia about the role. The bouncer was originally going to be played by Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh, thank you. It didn't happen.
He turned down the role multiple times with increased pay amounts made for each subsequent offer. This was thought to be career suicide in the 80s when director Blake Edwards offered Joe part in any of his films. However, if Dice had taken the film, he would never have performed for the agent that saw him and would eventually sign him to play 2 sold-out shows at Madison Square Garden in 1990. This was the first time in history that had ever been done by a stand-up comedian. So, by not being in the movie, he had a career.
Well, yeah, it just wasn't a movie career.
No.
Because, yeah. No, and how would that have worked? It's like it works so well with Dick Durock because it's almost a silent.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's just him standing there and Bruce just going off. Andrew Dice Clay doesn't know how to shut up, so I don't.
Yeah.
And I always forget the name of his really bad movie.
The Adventures of Ford Fairlane.
There it is. Yeah, I was about to say I know it has the name of a car in it.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen it. I think I started it once and maybe, a wannabe forgotten movie.
Yes.
I don't know. I think that was a 90s movie, pretty sure. So, all right. The last, the last that guy is Sab Shimono as Mr. Yakamoto. He's appeared in dozens of films and television shows and character roles, including Midway, Gung Ho, which is what I remember from with Michael Keaton. Presumed Innocent. He was in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. He was also in The Shadow, Jackie Chan Adventures, Samurai Jack, and Southland Tales. So, but yes,
that's your last that guy. You're not going to talk about George Coe?
Let's talk about George Coe.
George Coe that plays his boss.
Yes.
So first off, I have to just go ahead and say he plays Martha's father, William Clark, on Smallville.
I knew it had to be a Superman reference.
Yeah, but I mean, he's been in so many other things. He was in the original Stepford Wives. I know that. And yeah, but he's another one of those that guys. Like I didn't make a list of anything about stuff he was in. That's just stuff I know off the top of my head.
Gotcha.
But
yeah, I think when I looked at his filmography, it didn't have a whole lot on there. But yeah, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, and then just to throw this out, the French waiter,
yes,
was Principal Snyder on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Okay, yeah, he had been in some stuff too. Yeah, he'd been in some stuff too. I recognized him for sure. most of the songs, just another, like, there's two other people that are not really that guys, but if you're into music, most of the songs on the soundtrack were by Billy Vera and the Beaters, who also appeared in the movie in the bar sequence where they play several songs. Of course, his song At That Moment, is it At This Moment or At That Moment? At This Moment? Yeah. Anyway, it became famous on Family Ties, became a huge hit because it was a slow dance sequence with Michael J. Fox. But anyway, but yeah, I recognized him. And then the guitar player, which I didn't look up until today, played himself. That was actually Stanley Jordan playing himself.
Okay.
He's an American jazz guitarist, noted for playing the playing technique, which involves tapping his fingers on the fretboard of the guitar with both hands, which I saw him doing
Very nice.
in the movie. So yeah.
And this was this was the same time that Bruce had released The Return of Bruno.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of wonder if that was connected, like
Mm-hmm.
having Walter be a musician.
Yeah, yeah. Even though we never see him actually play
No.
or hear him play, which I don't know
Yeah.
if Bruce
I don't know if
really
Bruce
played
knows how to play a guitar.
Yeah,
He can play a harmonica.
he can
but I
play a
don't know if he-
harmonica for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because I didn't look at dates, but I'm pretty sure this was the same year that
I
the
think that's true.
mockumentary Return of
Yeah,
Bruno came out. And of course, there was an album,
Mm-hmm.
that followed.
I had the cassette.
Yeah,
And-
I have it on. I have it on CD.
Okay. And I had the VHS of the
I have the
special.
VHS. Yeah, I have the VHS. I don't think have they ever released it on anything other than.
Not that I know of. I mean, I don't have it anymore, but I remember
No, I
having
still
it.
have the VHS.
Yeah, I'm
I
sure
still
you
have
do.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember having it. True confessions. I was made fun of because I was such a big fan of Bruce Willis's music. Like, I would bring it. We would have like Fridays at school. It was like bring music to play during the afternoon or whatever. And I would bring my Bruce Willis Return of Bruno cassette, and they were like, "Oh God, we gotta listen to this again." I'm like, "Yeah, you are. The whole harmonica solo. You're gonna listen to it right now." So, but yeah.
No, I have. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he only released the 2, but I have both of his albums.
What
I
was
have
the
Return
second
of-
one?
If I remember right, it was called If It Doesn't Kill You, Makes You Stronger, or something.
Oh,
It's something along those
yeah.
lines.
Yeah, I had it too. I don't think I listened to it as much as the first one, but I
Yeah.
do remember. I do
Because the
remember
cover
that
is him and kind of like almost dressed as Hudson Hawk.
one.
And he's like walking. It's a tan. Like, I'm picturing the cover. Yeah. No, I have both of those on CD. They're buried around here somewhere.
I'll be searching for those on Spotify or Apple Music tomorrow.
Yeah, because he hit "Lose Yourself."
Mm-hmm.
I think he hit number 5 on the Billboard charts. What's the highest he went with one of his songs? But it's called
Mhm.
"Lose Yourself," and he hit number 5. So yeah, he was successful.
Was it
as a
Lose
singer.
Yourself or Respect Yourself?
Oh, Respect Yourself. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
with the Pointer Sisters, right?
Yeah, Respect Yourself.
Mhm.
Yep, you're right.
Yep.
Yep, Respect Yourself. Yep.
All right. Well, let's jump into iconic scenes and favorite scenes. This one was kind of tough for me, but if someone says to
Yeah.
you blind date, what is the first scene that pops in your head?
Yeah, that is kind of difficult. It might be that very first restaurant scene.
Mm-hmm.
That might be what pops into my head first. Honestly, what pops into my head first is just the cover, like the poster.
Yeah.
I don't know if a scene really stands out, but
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know if there's any iconic scenes.
No. Yeah.
But yeah, I would probably say that very first restaurant scene where she rips the pocket.
Pocket. Yeah.
Because I especially remember when him and George Coe, him and his boss, were standing there and they just hold their pockets up.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking really hard trying to think of an iconic scene. I was like, I'm kind of like you, like when she's finally she's sober and he goes like kind of crazy and they're at the bar or whatever and he's kind of losing it and he's doing the basketball thing with the with the, I don't know if it was a blueberry or a grape or whatever.
With the woman's cleavage.
Yeah. So like that's him being that, like him kind of going out of character as he is in the rest of the movie. That's what kind of stands out to me, but it's not like a specific line or a specific scene. It's just that whole sequence. But
which I just remembered the guy whose party it was, he's another one of that guys.
Okay.
And I'm trying to remember who he was. I'm looking through. Oh, Timothy Stack. Yeah. The comedian who
Okay.
was did you watch the show Son of the Beach?
Yes.
He was the star of that show.
Yes. I remember that kind of vaguely, like I vaguely remember it, but yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's another one of those
That was one of
that
those
guys.
that was one of those Fox shows, right? Early days of
FX.
Fox. FX. Okay.
FX.
Oh yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And what about favorite scenes? Do you have any favorite scenes?
You know what? I get a kick out of John Larroquette's character crashing into 3 different stores
Storefronts. Yeah.
throughout the movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and again, it's always the same. He gets distracted, he turns, and then crashes. And then after he crashes into the flour
Mm-hmm.
factory or whatever
Right,
it is, which
right.
he actually crashes through like a brick wall. Like the other 2 are at least glass
Right.
storefronts. This one's a
Right.
brick wall. How he survives that one.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's what I just get a kick out of that running gag, and how he then reappears and is another layer
Mhm,
of
mhm.
whatever on him.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
A lot of physical comedy, which of course is that's Bruce. I mean, that's Blake Edwards.
That's Blake
kind of-
Edwards, yeah.
That's his thing. But the whole sequence, like the night before the wedding, where Bruce is trying to sneak in to give her the candies, and so all the like the different bedrooms and switching out and the comforter, like that's the kind of stuff I love seeing that in movies. Like you don't see that enough anymore. Like those sequences
Yeah.
of that's just stuff that's
William
just
Daniel
so much
kicks
fun.
the golf ball under the
Yeah.
bed, and you hear the
Thunk,
the
yeah.
thunk. You okay, Agnes?
Yeah. So yeah, so that's about it for me. I mean, it's a fun movie. It's a fun watch. It's kind of like I said, it's that old screwball comedy. So it's not, it's not
Mhm.
heavy in plot. It's not heavy in, you know, common sense, because I mean, when she gets drunk at the beginning, like, well, why would you even try to take her home? I mean, what a good guy he is, but it was like,
But it's not. Look, this movie. You and I talked about this before we started recording,
mhm,
and I know I'll bring it up again when you talk about rewatchability. This movie could not be made today,
Of
or if
course
it
not.
was made, it would have to be, because they essentially are going, we're going to make fun of alcoholism.
mhm, mhm,
Is essentially what they're doing. But what bothers me the most is that I get that it's a comedy of errors a little bit at the beginning of the way that Phil Hartman warns him
mhm.
about drinking. He goes, he gets the alcohol. He's thinking, let's just have a nice little moment. And yes, she does kind of warn him and says, I get a little, a little crazy when I drink. And he's like, well, let's just get a little crazy. But then when everything starts happening, he then still offers her alcohol.
Right, right.
And that's just where I go, oh, can you not read the room here,
Yeah, yeah,
Walter?
yeah.
That's where I have the biggest issue with the story. Because other than that, I'm fine with, like, when they're at the disco, and he's distracted by talking to the bodyguard, the bouncer, and she steals his drink from behind him. Like that,
Mhm.
okay,
Yeah, yeah.
that's continuing the, and then yes, it's kind of clever that he gives her the chocolates
Yeah.
that have the brandy in them.
Yeah.
But again, I'm still going, yeah, but she's clearly got an alcohol problem.
Right.
And you are feeding into that.
Yeah. And how does that change anything at the ending? Like,
Yeah.
he still shows up to, say not get married, but it doesn't really ruin anything up to that point besides her just walking
it's
weird.
very weak that
Yeah.
she bails him out of prison, and that's all he needs to change his mind about her.
Yeah.
And then he's going to save her. And then I'm hoping there's a lot more time that passes between him stopping the wedding and then us seeing the just married on the back of the car.
Right.
I really hope there was a time gap there.
Yeah. Get to know each other a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it did seem like you've been on one date and it went horribly bad.
Yeah.
And now you're basing your entire relationship off of she bailed you out.
Right.
Like,
And then for her to make this deal with John Larroquette to get him from not going, like, you've agreed to marry someone else that you clearly do not want to marry just to make sure he doesn't go to jail, basically.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's
I guess drop all the charges.
Yeah.
Which part of me was like, can she have all those charges dropped? Like,
yeah. And then, right. And then I don't think I realized until that scene that the judge was his father. Like, I don't know if it's alluded to at the beginning, I just missed it, or
no,
if it just
they throw it in when they're in court.
Okay.
And when he goes up to the judge and he's explaining, hey, if you make all this go, I'll stop practicing law and all that, blah 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 blah. And then he goes, and then as he leaves, he goes, "All right, Dad."
Yeah. That's what I was like.
And that's where the reveal is.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because I was like, did I know that before this point?
No, that's where the reveal is.
Gotcha.
Right there.
Gotcha. Yeah. I do want to say I do remember one of my other favorite scenes is, once again another sight gag, is when the cop is having him do the drunk driving test.
Yeah,
and she's in the background.
That is a great scene.
Oh gosh, that is the best. That is one of the best. And just kudos
I want
to
you
Kim
raise your
Basinger.
right foot and hold it 6 seconds. It
Just
just falls backward. Yeah.
I give kudos to Kim Basinger because that's just top notch physical comedy right there. It was just hilarious.
That's a good one.
Yeah, enjoyed that a lot. All right, well, let's jump into the little bit of trivia that I have. There's not much that we haven't already talked about. There's got to be a Die-Hard connection, right? I mean, it's Bruce Willis. David Bedford's office window looks out onto the unfinished Fox building, which was soon to star as the Nakatomi Plaza in Die Hard. The structure still lacks that. The structure still lacks windows and some stone facade on the upper stories and at ground level. So it's not fully constructed, but it's under construction. So
I gotta go back and see that.
Yeah.
Nakatomi Plaza in the background.
His future was right there in front of him. He didn't even see it.
That's awesome.
The script was rewritten so much that the original writer Dale Launer, who wrote, pretty much disowned the finished film. Which, well. The night before the wedding, Rambo, the Doberman pinscher, is threatened with castration by Jordan the butler, who's been in a bunch of Blake Edwards films as well, if he doesn't stop barking. But if you notice, the dog playing Rambo is a female. So, well, they couldn't get it all perfectly. And then the last little trivia I have is the wedding scene at the end of the film was shot in the backyard of the Humbly Hills mansion owned by Baron Hilton, grandfather of Paris Hilton.
All right.
I was scraping the bottom of the barrel for trivia, as you can tell. All right, box office. Blind Date was released in the United States and Canada on March 27th, 1987. During its opening weekend, it was the highest grossing film of the weekend, ahead of Lethal Weapon in its fourth weekend of release, and Platoon in its 15th. In its second weekend, it fell to number 2, placing it behind Police Academy 4, Citizens on Patrol, which debuted that week. And it fell to number 3 in the third week behind Police Academy 4, Citizens on Patrol, and the debut of Michael J. Fox's comedy, The Secret of My Success. But Blind Date left the top 10 highest grossing films after 10 weeks. In total, it grossed $39.3 million, making it the 23rd highest grossing film of 1987 in the U.S. and Canada. So, successful. Not a blockbuster, but successful nonetheless. Once again, it made enough money. They said, we'll give this guy a shot to be in this action movie we're making. So, all right, now it's time to take a look at how well this 80s flick holds up today. It's the Rewatchability and Nostalgia Meter. It's our way of measuring how enjoyable a movie is for repeat viewings, along with the waves of nostalgia it brings. Here's how it works. It's a 1 to 10 scale. Any number between 1 and 10 will do, but here are a few parameters to help you decide. At the bottom of the meter is a number 1, means I saw it once and that was enough. Right in the middle at the number 5 is a good rewatch every couple of years, and the highly coveted 10 at the top of the meter means it's highly rewatchable and full of nostalgia. So, Laramie, where does Blind Date rank for you on the rewatchability nostalgia meter?
So yeah, this one's not going to be very high for a couple of reasons. One, as we've talked about, like neither one of us had seen it
No.
in over a decade. Had been the last time we'd watched it. And yes, I am a huge Bruce Willis fan,
Mm-hmm.
but this is one of his movies. Like, yes, he's great at comedy. He showed that in Moonlighting. He would come back and do it at like Whole 9 Yards
Yes.
is hilarious.
Yes.
So he can do comedy and he's great in this, but there's just something about this that does not make it one you think about.
Yeah.
And I can't quite put my finger on what it is. It could be the, pretty much taking advantage of a woman who has an issue with alcohol.
Right.
That doesn't really hold up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Blake Edwards, but Blake Edwards has done so many better movies.
Yeah.
Going back to Pink Panther, Victor Victoria, 10, more iconic, more funny, and especially with Pink Panther, with those movies. And so I have to. I think I'm gonna have to put this one at maybe. I don't know if I should go right in the middle with a 5, or drop it just slightly, since it has been over a decade since I've probably seen it last. So I think I'm gonna go with a 4.5.
Okay. I'm not mad at it. Very valid reasons. Very valid reasons. I'm going a little higher, but not much. A little higher just because of the nostalgia factor. Because I remember seeing it in the theater. I have nostalgia for it when I even though it doesn't come on TV. If it were to come on TV, I would probably sit and watch. Maybe not watch the whole thing, but I'd watch a little bit of it just for the nostalgia of it. So I'm going a 5.5. I'm not going to quite give it a 6. I think it is a good rewatch every couple of years. I give it a little bit of a bump for the nostalgia that it brings to me, of the early Bruce Willis, like making his debut from Moonlighting, seeing if he could bring that same charisma that you saw on the small screen to the big screen, which I don't think he fully got us there, but I think that we saw enough glimpses to know that he could be a movie star if he had better material.
Yeah, and David Addison is so much more
of a
because
character.
Again, it's so much more of an Inspector Clouseau type character.
Yeah.
Which Blake Edwards should have taken hold of a little bit more, because he's so more cartoonish on Moonlighting as David Addison.
Yeah.
That was just missing. And I think if you really embraced that Inspector Clouseau level, and he was right there when they go to Nadia's party, and he's introducing himself, David Willis. No, not David Willis. Not David.
No,
Walter. Yeah, Walter Davis. I was getting all flipped around with his Moonlighting character. So when he introduces himself, Walter Davis, rocket scientist, and Walter Davis, gynecologist,
right?
And Walter Davis, interior designer. Like that, it was right there.
Yeah.
If they had just been able to go full, because even like you're talking about those scenes when he's trying to sneak into the house, like when he gets hit by the golf ball in the tree, and then he falls out of the tree. Like if there were more, if there was more of that. I think it could have worked. That was where you really started to see the kind of the Blake Edwards, Pink Panther type aspect, and you really let Bruce Willis loose like that. I think it definitely could have been higher for me. Again, I don't have the nostalgia like you do because it was after the fact when I'm getting into being a Bruce Willis fan.
Right.
But you and I again talked about this before we started recording. I think that's one of the reasons I like Hudson Hawk so much is because he's so much more cartoonish.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In Hudson Hawk.
Yeah. Just going for it. Just like it is like Yeah, like Hudson Hawk, of course, it's not an 80s movie, but we both have love for the movie. But it's like it is like a live action cartoon. Like it's so goofy and absurd, but it's fun. It's just a fun ride. So but yeah. All right. Well, let us know where you think Blind Date should rank on the Rewatchability Nostalgia Meter. Send us an email, let us know on social media, or leave us a comment right here in YouTube. All right, Laramy, I want to thank you so much for joining for today's episode. So what you got going on at Moving Panels here in the middle of July?
So we are wrapping up our summer series as we've been talking about movies and TVs shows that are inspired by, not necessarily based or adapted from. So we covered Hancock, Chronicle, and The Incredibles at the beginning of the summer, and we're going to be wrapping things up in the next couple of weeks with Army of Darkness.
Oh yeah,
which is probably the biggest one because it not only clearly was inspired by possibly like comic books, but then it inspired comic books because there are so many Army of Darkness comics out there that continue the story and do different timelines and crossovers. I just recently found out that there's an Army of Darkness Vampirilla crossover
oh
comic.
my goodness.
Why
not?
So you check those out. We're doing a lot of even one shot discussions about how movies and TV shows themselves have been inspired by comics, and to what we got. So yeah, check those out.
Yeah, definitely do that. Always a good time on Moving Panels. That's a wrap on another trip through the greatest decade of cinema. If we sparked a memory or helped you rediscover a classic, please head over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. It truly helps us reach more fans like you. To make sure you're always in the loop for our next deep dive, hit that follow or subscribe button. If you want to help keep the show running, consider becoming a partner at buymeacoffee.com. For more 80s goodness, our digital headquarters is always open at 80sflickflashback.com. And while you're there, check out our TeePublic store for original designs and movie-inspired merch that'll have you looking like a 1980s icon. Thanks again for tuning in. Thank you, Laramy, for joining. I'm Tim Williams for the 80s Flick Flashback Podcast. Come on, Ted. You've tried to find me Miss Right before, only you always forget to mention one crucial detail, like she's a dopehead or a lesbian or keeps a dead cat in the freezer. What a New Year's that was. Walter, could you get the champagne out of the icebox?